China One actually has been translated by CCG to Chinese and is published by City Press Group, which is a very well-established publishing company in China. I wrote a foreword for this Chinese version. Can you tell us a bit about what sparked your interest in writing this book, and what do you think about the China-US relations when you're writing this book?
Thank you very much. That's a great question, Henry. And I think the reason why I wrote the book is that, if you can imagine two trains coming down the same track and gaining momentum and heading towards a collision, what do? Do you say, carry on, have a collision? Or do you say, stop? Think twice. So right now, unfortunately, the United States has launched a geopolitical contest against China. And so as a result of that, the US and China are racing towards a collision like two trains. And my goal is to try and stop the worst case scenario of an all-out collision between these two trains. And actually, this is what I try to analyze in my book. It's happening for structural reasons. It's not due to personalities. And even though Joe Biden said in his election campaign that Trump's tariffs are hurting the American people, hurting the American workers, Joe Biden cannot remove them. And why can't he remove them? Because the geopolitical contest is driven by structural forces. And that is actually the main reason why I wrote this book, to try and explain the structural forces that are driving this contest. And let me quickly just mention three. One is, of course, the fact that whenever the world's number one emerging power, which today is China, is about to overtake the world's number one power, which is United States. So when the United States tries to prevent China from succeeding, that's normal behavior. But the second structural force, which is something that nobody talks about, which is that there is also a fear of the yellow peril in the Western imagination. Now, this is something that is politically incorrect to discuss in many Western circles, but it's a fact. It's been there in Western history. And at the end of the 19th century, the United States Congress passed something called the United States Racial Exclusion Act to keep out Chinese migrants. Now that already confirms that there is this fear of yellow peril that exists in the American psyche as well as the Western psyche. And of course, there's also the third structural force that's also among both the Republicans and the Democrats, that after the United States engaged China, after the United States opened up China economically, China would also open up politically and become a liberal democracy, and then the liberal democracy of China and the liberal democracy of the United States would live happily ever after. Now, as you know, that's a fairy tale, but that's what Americans believed in. And because they believe in it, they're very disappointed that China is not creating a political system that the Americans like. And so the net result of it is that this is another reason why the US-China geopolitical contest is gaining momentum. And therefore, that's what I hope my book will help to contribute, make a contribution towards, is an understanding of why this is happening, this US-China geopolitical contest.